Hey everybody, Rodamon here. Thanks for tuning in to the Philosopher King, a RimWorld royalty series about benevolence. A recap of our rules and goals. You can also read these in the description of the video. And a reminder that this is a choose your own adventure series, which means that my patrons submit ideas for the poll, and then once every 2 weeks we vote on them. A little recap of what's been going on. We, as a community, had just taken down a Thrumbo, which is a pretty cool thing to do, especially this early on. And I'm going to make some significant changes very quickly to the base here. The first thing I'm going to do is to move the stockpile out of what will be our dining room. Another thing I'm going to do is to add a dumping, or add doors that face east, and then add some dumping stockpiles. I'm going to add a 5x2 and another 5x2. This is going to be for stone chunks, and this is going to be for slag. Let's make this preferred for the slag and preferred for the stone chunks. Now, I also, once everybody gets a good night's sleep, plan on hunting the other Thrumbo. I'm not going to use the traps though, which means I'm going to cancel the construction of those traps. I'm going to try to hunt it traditionally, but also using stun. I've decided against the braziers because the braziers require a little bit of human effort to get constructed and refueled. So in lieu of braziers, I'm going to go with lights, but only eventually. I'm not going to do that immediately. I'm also changing my mind about the donkeys. So Pub Collies mentioned that donkeys can caravan resources. So I'm going to go ahead and try to tame those donkeys. So let's take a look at our work priorities. I'm going to make Mathis prioritize handling a little bit higher. And Yanshui is not going to construct. Once everybody's up, I'll go after the last Thrumbo that is northeast of me. I also want Bubbaloo to clean over research. If he's going to be our benevolent king, he's got to earn his keep. Alright, now that everybody's up, I know they were currently taming the donkeys, but I'm going to go for the hunting of the Thrumbo. It's going to be very important for food and whatnot to get this Thrumbo down. And I'm hoping to injure it enough that I can outrun it before it gets too close to me. Yes, a bit of a gamble, but let's see. Your Thrumbo are now moving. Yeah, it's still moving faster than I can move. So it's going to be important for me to get some additional shots in, or for it to chase Bubbaloo or something like that, and not the rest of them. Alright, so now you're moving at just about our speed, but you're chasing Bubbaloo. I don't like that. Run, bub, run. There it goes. Oh, actually, you know what's really interesting, what's going on right now? So the way that the Thrumbo wandering in works is that they have a scheduled amount of time that they're going to spend on your map tile, and then they're going to wander off. And what ended up happening in the middle of this Manhunter fight is this Thrumbo decided to leave the map tile, which means it's going to be very, very easy for me to hunt. And unless I get in a brawling fight with it, it's just basically going to ignore me, which is terrific. Makes it much, much, much easier to kill. Alright, down it goes. So, Mathis, haul the Thrumbo, 0, and Yanshui, haul some marble. I'm also going to move the stone and steel stockpile down here as well. So let's get that going. And then totally get rid of this stockpile here. now that I have a semi-more permanent spot for everything. Great. 2 Thrumbos. And this early on, too. That's kind of nice. So as a reminder, I do have Cosmos mechs. This is a quest to destroy a mech cluster. I am granted a few Jacineraries to help out with that task. Let's rename this Grazing Zone. So I tamed one of the donkeys, and I want it to not go in my base where it will produce filth that I'll need to clean up. And I also don't want it to eat my own food until it knows how to haul. So I'm going to add a zone called Grazing Zone. And this Grazing Zone is going to be required for this donkey to adhere to. The donkey eventually will get a name, but not right now. And I'm going to have animal sleeping spots in this sort of like cave type feature here. And I'll even roof it off. Donkeys eat seeds and fruit, so they're going to be able to graze on berry bushes. So I don't necessarily need to feed them immediately. Whereas foxes would need to eat meat, which makes it a little bit more challenging. Get them fed early on. Looks like we're pretty close to being able to brew our beer, as most of this is just about harvestable, so I'll queue up the making of the wort. And there's our little donkey. Now, as a reminder, I have Cosmos mechs and non-traditional trade. One thing I could do to maybe make Cosmos mechs a little bit easier is to do the non-traditional trade, but that's going to increase Bubaloo's rank higher than I have the technology to support. So I'll probably wait on that as long as I can. And in fact, he is going to want... Eventually, Royals will want a 30-cell bedroom. So what I'm going to do is set up a bedroom here for him, which will be 30 cells. Oh man, the lightning storm drops one right on our base. So now that I have both donkeys, let's start to train them in hauling. And hope that the donkeys are smart enough not to walk into a forest fire. The next thing I want to do is to move the stone production. So for stone cutting, I want it closer to where I'm going to store my my chunks. But then also move the tailor. Looks like we have a group of night fiends attacking us. Let's take a look. This is a sizable enough raid that I think what I'll do is accept the Cosmos Mechs quest and be granted 3 Jacineraries that can help me defend against this raid. So the mechanoids have arrived to the north, way north. What I'm going to do is build a little danger zone and paint the danger zone around these mechs so that we don't go near them. Invert the zone, and then restrict everybody to the danger zone. Next up, my new temporary visitors. I'm going to remove them from all tasks. Melton, Farmer, I don't want them doing anything that requires skill. We'll just have them haul and clean. But for right now, I'm going to have them defend the base, because this is a, as I said, a sizable raid, and I'd rather, as benevolent as I am, I'd rather risk them than me, right? Mathis, Yanshui, Zero, let's get you guys out here as well. So what kind of weapons do these guys have? Mostly close quarter weapons. Some of them are going north. I don't know why they're going north, but I don't mind. If they are taking themselves out of the fight, that works for me. And then King Bob, let's get you down here. Oh, they're going after my donkeys. So, let's get a safety zone. That's why they're going north. Safety zone, animals go to safety. Alright, so my donkey, my northern donkey, not doing so hot. Hopefully it just goes in. Oh, no, it is going to require to be slaughtered. It already has brain injury from the machine pistol. That's real unfortunate. I don't like that at all. So they're also setting my my farms on fire, but I'm just going to focus on the fight at hand. Another thing I wanted to do is let's not allow meds for the guests unless I think we need them. I'm having Bubbaloo. Okay, so that's another one downed. Looks like Melton got a little hurt. I haven't even looked at these guys. So you're a body purist. Oh, that's going to be a problem. And a cannibal. You are hypersensitive, neurotic, and teetotaler. And you are super immune, neurotic, and slothful. Whoa, this guy's flying down. Stunned him. Alright, we're supposed to be benevolent. So let's actually let them out. Let them go. Even though they're my donkey's killer. Alright, so now that that's all said and done, I do have some fires to put out. And taking a look at this. Alright, this is interesting. So there's a mech capsule, I'm not sure what's in there. There's a pikeman, there's 2 mini slugger turrets, and then there's 2 auto charge turrets. And I need to have that destroyed for the favor quest. So what I'm going to do is, let's set up some beds for our guests. That will be something that Zero will do after we put the fires at our farm out. Alright, Zero. Let's get you to work on these beds. My Jacinteraries can definitely help me to haul. So the donkey died to blood loss. Yes, I was going to slaughter it anyway. So what I'm going to do is move this bed down here. And then all 3 of these beds for my guests. Oh, we have a quest called Temporary Workers. Prime Counselor, some enemy, needs extra hands to fortify settlement. After 2 weeks, or after 28 days, it will improve my reputation with them. And if I take a look, they're these guys, these rough Outliner Union. I don't really have the spare hands to right at the moment, so that's going to be low priority for me. Alright, animals, or animal. Let's get back to the grazing zone. We also have all these corpses to bury. One way I could try to deal with this is try to put the corpses next to the fire. And see if I can't just catch them on fire. It's a lot easier than to bury them. Eventually I'll try to unlock crematorium research, but that's one very efficient way, given that I have giant forest fires going on, to do it. Sounds like my donkey walked into the fire. Yes, you did. I have to make sure that these guys stay happy. So I said the body pierce is going to be annoying is because he has a built-in death acidifier, which is going to cause him to be inherently unhappy with his own body. Alright, yeah, those corpses are gone. I'm rather surprised I haven't had rain yet. Generally speaking, when you have widespread fires in your colony, it triggers rain. But nope, no rain yet. So, as far as the quest goes, Cosmos mechs, let's see. It may have a countdown activator. No, it has proximity. It doesn't have a countdown activator. So, I don't necessarily see a time limit for these guys. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to allow Melton to heal up all the way before I try to fight. And my strategy here will be to probably burrow a hole this way, break this steel wall, because these steel wall here are within the minimum distance of the auto charge turrets. Another quest just got offered called Royal Ascent. This is the way to get off the planet if you decide to hold royal titles. I go over the Royal Ascent in my intro to the royalty DLC, but essentially what this is, once you hold the title Count or Countess, and you have a bedroom that satisfies the Stellarch, you can protect the Stellarch for, I guess, 12 days. You will get it rated a lot in that 12 days, and if you manage to do it, they will reward you with being able to leave on their shuttle to the stars. That's the way that works. Alright, so Melton just healed up. I'm also going to want to make sure that they stay happy. Oh, bummer. All the smoke leaf that dropped here just got burned up too. So I think what I'll do is I'll just wait a little bit until I get some more work done, because it is kind of nice to have them around. Free protection and all. Now, they also have locked armor and locked guns, which means I can't just strip them for resources. Not that I would. We're supposed to be benevolent, but their weapons and armor are their own, and will not be mine. All right, so I'm expanding the zone a little bit, and what I'll do is add a smelter in up here to allow me to smelt the slag that I'll generate. Also looks like I am good to go for some brewing, but I do see that the temperature in my base is not ideal, so I'm going to fix that. This donkey is fully able to guard now. I just need to train some haul. I'm not yet ready to try for the mechs. There's still some more hauling that I'd like to do. And it's nice to keep them around for security as well. Having well-geared visitors definitely benefits me in pretty obvious and tangible ways. Well, I cannot catch a break with this fire. I am constantly being targeted by thunderstorms and the like. Alright, so here's this smelter, and this smelter is going to allow us to smelt slag. Let's make the zone real small, but that's a really good way to build up some resources as well for steel. I'm also adding a lot more vents here, and this will be for like sort of a central AC. Oh, that stool's masterwork. Well, interesting. Alright, so we have a lot of what we need tiled up, already tiled up. And the aim will be to work on Bubbaloo's bedroom, and then to get the AC systems up and running. Alright, I think for Mathis, I'm going to have him smelt some steel for a bit. Looks like my hauler friends are sort of out of tasks to work on, so I'm going to actually expand this zone to much larger and just have them continually haul marble, because marble is the key of my building blocks. Alright, there's a reasonably decent bedroom for my my liege. We'll add a light in there, and we'll start to tile it up. We're going to need a fair bit more metal to yeah, as you can see, none of these are bedrooms. They're all technically outside due to lack of the vents and AC systems. So we're going to need a little bit more steel in order to make that happen. One way to get steel real quick would be a quick zone temp. I'm just going to name it temp. And drop a temp zone over here. And what I'll do is I'll have 0 be restricted to that zone so that he can break down everything over there. So I'm going to assign him to temp, and what I'll do is remove all the floors and destroy all the walls, and then our visitors can help to move that. So the ship to the stars is just the old, like, travel to the AI ship and blast off, or guard it for the reactor spin up time and then blast off. Mathis, I want you to just keep cutting. Actually, refine. I take that back. Alright, so the whole purpose of coming down here is for the steel, and we're about to strip up all the floors for the steel. And it looks like Melton, Farmer, and are getting close to filling up that new stockpile. Alright, he's done, so let's start to haul the steel back. We do have some of these guys that have major break risks, so we're going to aim to try to sort those break risks out. Yet another flash storm. I guess Randy Random really, really wants me to get burned or something. I don't know. Alright, so that's one AC. This will be another, and the purpose of these ACs is to temperature control so that I can brew more easily. So soon these bedrooms are going to be nice and temperate. Oops, I just definitely messed that up. And a heatwave. Oh, boy. Well, I just got central AC set up, so a heatwave could be worse. We'll be able to actually cool down our bedrooms kind of nice. So, let's get the fermenting barrels up and running. And start to get some beer up in here. That will be good for morale. Alright, Yanshui, let's fill this one. And for this to ferment, it needs to be between 45 and 90 Fahrenheit. Just for the heat wave, what I think I'll do is I'll do a supplementary passive cooler. I really don't want these guys to have mental breaks. That could be potentially very negative. Alright, so the quest for the non-traditional trade, I still have a little bit of time left. Yeah, a little bit more wiggle room. Alright, I'm going to start to smelt weapons as well. Because I want to smelt the crummy knives and stuff like that. Alright, so for the old temp zone, let's remove this. And there's not enough steel to warrant temp zoning up there. So I might not worry about it right now. Alright, machining is done. Let's get some noble apparel research going. Machining will be really nice. So what I'm going to do is let's do smelt weapons up to 4. All the weapons that currently exist on the map right now, I think I'm fine. I feel fine smelting. But for us to have the power to smelt that kind of stuff, we're going to need to... Alright, Yanshui, you're cooking. I'm going to need to draw power from somewhere else. Shut off this cooler. Wasn't enough. Let's shut off both coolers. Alright, now the smelter's on. Mathis, you're going to smelt full time. Let's get rid of all these crummy weapons, because we want the steel. Another thing I could start to do is for Zero to mine for it. So the closest mining I can do is maybe down here, which seems ridiculously far. Okay, so the heat wave, yeah, this, as soon as you're done, shut that off. This poor beer is going to be overheated. So let's get another passive cooler. Right now, try to dump the temperature of this room immediately. Alright, King Bob, Mr. Bubbaloo. Looks like my hauling friends are just about out of stuff to haul, so I'm going to add even more zone for the marble, just so that they're productive. Okay, it's still overheating. Let's get another cooler. I really, really don't want it to go to waste. And let's flick on the other one. Alright. It is now under the 90-degree temperature mark, so it should be okay. Fingers crossed. We also just got a bit of the psychoid leaf harvest. So let's do psychite tea until we have 50. And when we make it, just dump it on the stockpile floor. And that brings me to my next thing, the drug policies. So I'm going to delete all the other drug policies, and I'm going to schedule drugs. So there's a min-maxing way to schedule drugs, which would be psychite tea. I'm going to say use psychite tea every 2 days when your mood is below 50%. That way, if we have people that are moody, they can have a little bit of mood boost. And then I'm also going to say beer, if below, let's say 40%, and every day we can do beer. And that's our current drug schedule. We do have 2 teetotalers, Farmer and Mathis. So Mathis won't ever do drugs. So what I'm going to do is one more drug policy. No drugs. This is also useful for when you've got an addict that you don't want to do drugs either. So I think it's probably ideal that I hopefully wait out the heat wave dealing with the mechs, because being in the heat does come with a bit of a consciousness debuff, but not necessarily. I don't know. We'll see. All right, so we are cranking out the marble. Bubbaloo, this is your new bedroom. It's a decent bedroom, but you know, it's a start. And then we have our laboratory, which is nice and clean. This here, we are going to want to spruce up a bit. It is very impressive for now, though. There we are. Look at that. Really getting some resources here. Alright, so maybe tomorrow morning, or once the rain stops, I will make a play for the mech cluster. Alright, so Yanshui is starting to crank out the teas, and then what I'm going to want is a shelf to allow the teas to be in our kitchen, or in our rec room, so that we don't have to constantly enter the kitchen to grab them. That will be a little bit more efficient. But it looks like Zero is working on something else. Let me have him prioritize this. Alright, so it's an excellent one. And we're going to say here, we're going to want beer or tea. We're going to want both to be stockpiled on that beautiful bench. Alright, once the foggy rain stops. Now there is one school of thought which would be foggy rain is a perfect weather to go attack these mechs, because these mechs tend to be long-ranged, and foggy rain dramatically reduces your accuracy and movement speed. But I personally like clear weather. I like to get good shots for myself, so we'll try to attack them at an opportunistic time. Alright, this constant in and out is really dreadful in terms of trying to keep the freezer cool. But I'll just let it happen because we're almost done making the tea we need. And then what I'm going to do is an unpause. I'm going to say pause when satisfied, unpause at like 25. So we're not constantly making micro batch. Okay, there we go. Now we have the tea. Man, it is really hot out. Alright, so the foggy rain is stopping. And then the temporary workers, I'm probably not going to manage to get sent. I just don't have the spare hands to send people. Noble Apparel just got research, though. That's good. And I'm also going to research Harp. These are the sort of the starting things that you will need to keep your royal title holders happy. I'm really hoping that the heat wave breaks soon. Who has heat stroke? Melton? Well, he shouldn't, because it's 70 degrees in here. Looks like the heat wave heat is decreasing. Now, Yanshui has a bedroom a little bit further away from the ACs than everyone else's bedroom. I'll have to keep that in mind when I expand the AC systems. But the freezer's nice and cold, as is the butchery. And I've really put these incinerators to work. Yeah, the heat wave is definitely breaking. So now, when Zero wakes up, it's time. It's time to actually deal with these mechs. Okay, so he's up. So what I'm going to do is have everybody drink a little Psychite tea. This is both for mood, for recreation, and for pain. And then we're going to move in on the mechs. Okay, so everybody's a little high on Psycho T, which means they experience a little bit less pain. So here's my plan. Let's see if this works. My plan is to break a hole through here. Let me lift the restriction here. Making sure that, yeah, everybody is ready to go. Yep. So being inside that red circle wakes them up. And here is the enemies I have to deal with. 2 lancers, 2 pikemen, and the turrets and all that. So let's go deal with this this lancer real quick. Here's the deal. I think I can get the drop on it. Perfect. Get it stunned. Shoot it quick. And then the idea was to get real close, real close to the wall here, and break through this wall where these 2 spots cannot be fired on from either turret. So if we start attacking this wall here, this is going to allow us to fight inside here without the turrets being able to fire on us. So there's a quick opportunity here to break the other mech. Uh-oh. Please don't hit. Oh, no. Alright, get Yan Shui out of the way. Get Bob behind cover. Get Zero and Mathis back. I thought it would die a little bit sooner. My apologies, Yan Shui. I'm sure your pants are ruined too. Alright, so we're going to do the same thing over to the pikemen here, but Mathis, you're going to patch Yan Shui right now. Alright, let's take cover. These guys have... Oh, dang. Alright, alright. Wow. One tapped through the skull. The Jacinerary dies. Hey, at least it's not me. So he's trying to shoot at Zero, but Zero's behind cover. Alright, it's dead too. Alright, now for if I could take the other pikemen out of play, that would be awesome. I just can't, I don't want to get fired on by the turrets, because these auto-charge turrets are stupidly powerful. Alright, so now all the turrets are out of play. I do have Melton, the guard, left unburied. I can definitely go ahead and bury him. What I will do eventually is to bury him in like a tomb, enshrining him for all that he did for our colony. So taking a look at the remaining areas, these 2 spots are the good spots, and I'm going to have and Farmer attempt to break through there, because they have armor. I do not. I can't take their armor, because that's not how it works. So let's bury you. My guys are going to stay in cover here. I do see that Farmer has a little bit of a break risk, but I'm going to risk it. No, Mathis. Oh my god. I thought I had conscripted him. That was my fat fingering fault. Alright, get there and do not leave. So we're going to break through here. This is going to make it so that the giant charge turrets can't fire on us, because we're within their minimum distance. And we can blow up the slugger turrets. Alright, so we're blowing up these charge turrets. Uh-oh. Ouch. I can't stun them. Alright, let's get out of the way. Alright, that one's gone. Good, good, good. So there's just one left. I got really lucky when that thing opened up. No, I didn't. I lost a lung. On Zero. Well, that's going to be tough to get back. But, that's my punishment for being in the blast zone. I do get some components, some steel, and a whole lot of machinery to break down. And there we go. Yanshui got the killing blow. I'm going to patch up Farmer. I'm going to let go. I do get the title of Esquire because we completed that mech's quest. So that means that Bubbaloo is going to want to wear a ruffled shirt, a top hat, or power armor, or Psycaster armor. He's also going to demand a throne room and a better bedroom. So we'll work on those demands soon because he is going to have negative mood modifiers while not having them. And Farmer are now no longer under my control. And then on top of that, I can destroy their structures here. All right, Mathis and Yanshui. All right, we definitely got considerably hurt, but it could be worse. None of us died. We did lose one of our Jacineraries. So now let's, get rid of the danger zone restriction. And I'm going to have to be on the lookout for a lung, because we are now lungless. Another thing I'm going to want to do is we were researching machining. We did get it researched. I'm going to want a machining table, because that's going to allow me to break down these mechs. So let's get that built. And here is the cyclic amplifier granted to me for the additional title. So what I'm going to need to do is to build a double bed, because that is one of the requirements that Bubbaloo is going to demand as a title holder. He also has, so we got the Psycast and was granted the ability of Blinding Pulse, which is a neat, nifty little ability that helps to blind enemies. So let's get the bedroom set up first. So now if we check him, no personal bedroom. Okay, that's gone. So now no throne room. What a travesty, he says. I don't have a throne room. So the next thing I want to do is let's check his throne room requirements. So he's an Esquire. If we take a look at the Esquire is going to require a throne room of 24 tiles, all floored, braziered, and the braziers must be lit. So I'm planning on making the throne room a little bit larger than he demands. I'm also going to change the layout of his bedroom a little bit. So we'll get that constructed. And also, he demands it to be floored as well. So we'll get that going. So here is the machining table. We are going to disassemble mechanoids, do that forever. And then what I will do is have this just be a mechs zone. Critically important that mech corpses go there. Alright, so he has a little bit of a major break risk because he's got a hangover and he doesn't have the bedroom he wants. So we're going to try to treat him a little bit more softly so that he becomes happier. I'm going to get rid of all of these passive coolers. It is in the end of summer, so we're not going to need them anymore. But that brings me to the end of this episode. That's about all the time we have, guys. So if you have any tips, tricks, feedback for me, suggestions of any kind, drop me a line. If you'd like to discuss this episode, Discord would be the place to go, or the comments below. Thanks for watching, everybody. I'm so grateful for the support that you all show for this series. I'll catch you all later. Adios.